Mama?
Jenny! Oh, Angel! Sweetheart! Why didn't you tell me you were coming to visit?
Well, I just decided at the last moment.
Oh, honey! Did you miss Pine Valley, or was it just your mama you wanted to see?
I think it was both.
Oh. Is there something wrong, honey bunch?
No. No, nothing's wrong, Mama. I came down to see Greg.
Oh, Jenny, don't tell me you're still hung up on that boy.
Mama, I love him. And, I have to find out how he feels about me.
What are you doing?
I'm calling him.
Just a moment. No. We are going to have to discuss this for a minute.
Oh, it's cold out there.
Oh, man, where did you go? I thought we were supposed to be in this thing together.
We are, Jesse, but this is something that I had to do on my own.
Well, listen, next time you go running out of here, will you at least tell me where you're going?
Hey, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, what's this big plan of yours? Who'd you go see?
Vera.
Vera?
Yeah, and I also had to stop by my mother's house to give her some excuse for being gone all day, you know, otherwise she would get suspicious. That's why it took so long.
Wait a minute, back up here. Vera, why'd you go see Vera? She ain't exactly your biggest fan, you know?
Because I went to ask her to help us get our baby back.
Angela, be serious. How's Vera gonna help us get our baby back?
Do you think you could have called to warn me? I was already late for class. And I came over as soon as it let out. What did Liza say to you?
Well, for one thing, she told me that you had told her who I was having the affair with.
What? And Tad, you know I wouldn't rat on you.
Yeah. All right, I'm sorry. I know you wouldn't do that.
All I told her was that I had no clue who the other woman was.
Yeah, well, thanks for doing that much. Yeah, but you can believe there was a couple hairy minutes there before I realized she was bluffing.
You don't really think Liza has any idea about her mother, do you?
No way.
Good. Because I'd hate to know what would happen if she found out. Can't stand the sight of blood.
Thanks a lot, Bobby. No, look, as far as I know, the only thing Liza suspects is that I'm having an affair with an older woman. Now, as long as she can't put two and two together, I'm okay.
Ken, what is this?
You like this?
Yeah, who gave it to you?
Me.
You bought it yourself?
Mm-hmm. Is there something wrong with that?
You went and bought yourself a gold chain. Nice.
Hello, darling. I didn't hear you come in. Liza, something wrong?
Where have you been?
I was just running some errands.
Some errands. Were you here when Jenny left?
Yeah.
Why didn't you stop her?
Why should I? I mean, she was just going over to visit that friend of hers, Mrs. Gonzalez.
Ah, how naive can you get? Darling, she's gone to Pine Valley.
Well, she didn't tell me that.
Well, of course not. She went to see Greg. She's determined to find out if he received that letter.
Well, if she had her mind made up, I doubt if I could have stopped her.
Ah. For a man who says he's not a quitter, you certainly are quick to throw in the towel.
What do you want me to do?
Nothing, right now. At least I alerted Mrs. Nelson, so she'll be warned when Jenny arrives. Fortunately, she doesn't want that relationship to resume any more than we do. Now, she'll do her best to keep Jenny and Greg apart.
So you'd like to tell me what this is about? between Greg and me.
You're implying that it's none of my business.
Well, if you want to put it that way, yes.
Jenny, that is very rude.
Mrs. Nelson,
I don't care how important this may be to you. There is no excuse for bad
I'm
manners.
sorry you think I was rude. That's not what I came here to do.
Really? Well, and what are you here for? And why is it that every time you come here, there is trouble?
I'm not trying to cause any trouble, Mrs.
You
Nelson.
do nothing but cause trouble
All
for Greg.
I want is a chance to see Greg.
Yes, and it's obvious what's on your mind. Can't you understand that he doesn't think about you anymore? He is very involved with Amanda. He's forgotten completely about you.
Maybe he has, but I still need to see him.
Darling, what does your fiancé think about all this?
I guess I should just go to the university and try to...
No, Jenny.
What?
Wait. Jenny, darling, why don't you go on home, and I'll have him call you when he gets back.
Would you? Or would you forget?
Well, it's clear that living in New York has not improved your manners at all.
I'm sorry, but no, I don't trust you, Mrs. Nelson. Goodbye.
Well, Enid, your pulse is normal. Blood pressure's fine.
Yes.
Oh, that's a relief. How do you feel, Mom?
Oh, much better, Doctor, much better. I just feel so foolish, you know, dragging you over here for nothing, Joe. I'm sorry.
Don't be silly, Enid. Tell me something. Have you been overexerting yourself? Has something happened to upset you?
Oh, no, nothing. I was here by myself. I thought I'd go downtown, and then I went for my coat, and suddenly I was all dizzy. I don't know what it was.
Well, listen, I'm sure there's nothing serious, but just to be on the safe side, I'd like for you to come down to the hospital and let me run an EKG.
Oh, Joe, surely that's not necessary.
No, Dr. Martin's right, Mom. You said you told me yourself that your heart was racing and you felt dizzy.
Yes, I think we'd all feel a lot better once we have you checked over.
Mama, if you don't want me to use your phone, I'll just go find one on the street or use...
hold that. I just said we ought to discuss this, honey. I don't think you've thought it through.
I have thought it through, Mama. I am so tired of lying, and I just want to tell him I love him.
Well, what do you expect him to say when you tell him that, honey?
I don't know.
Do you think that he is going to say that the two of you should get back together or something?
Mama, I have to try.
Well, all right, darling, but if it's so important to you, what are you using the phone for? Why don't you go find him?
Because I was already over at his house, and he wasn't there. I had to talk to his mother again, and she was no help as usual. I went over to the university. By the time I got there, he'd already left.
Well, did Mrs. Nelson say that she would give him a message for you or something?
I don't trust her. It wouldn't be the first time she didn't give him a message of mine.
You know, I don't like this one little bit, Jenny. Every time you turn around, that boy breaks your heart.
You can't blame all of this on Greg. I've hurt him too, and that is why it is so important to me to let him know how I really feel right now.
But what if he don't feel the same way, sweetie?
Then I'll just have to accept that.
Why, I think you just are making a terrible mistake here. But it's your life.
I respect your opinion, Mama, but it is my life, and it's something I have to do, okay?
Tad, don't you feel the least bit guilty?
About what?
Sleeping with both of them. I mean, it's one thing to be fooling around with two different women, but a mother and a daughter?
Hey, now, wait a minute. You can spare me the sermon because I did not go looking for this. And another thing, you can be sure that I had a great time trying to cover up my tracks.
Then why did you do it?
Why not? Why the hell not? Both Liza and her mother are very attractive women. They both turn me on. Each in her own way.
Dad, I think there's something else that turns you on, you know? The risk. You like living dangerously.
What are you, my shrink?
You're lucky Mrs. Colby gave you the shaft, buddy.
Oh, great, so now you're Ann Landers, right?
I'm serious, man. I mean, it's bad enough to think what would happen to Liza if she found out about you and her mother. But have you thought what your parents would do?
You know, you're not exactly helping me to breathe any easier.
Good. Because I know your parents. And I know that if they knew what you were up to...
What kind of
Tad,
friend are you?
A good one. And it just makes me nervous thinking about all this.
All right, then why don't you do me a favor?
Dad, Daddy, you home?
Mom? What are you doing here?
Oh, how nice to see you.
Hi, Mrs. Warren.
I was on my way to the supermarket, and I thought I'd stop and see if Kate needed anything.
Oh, well, Mom, Grant is at Millie's, and Bob and I were just hanging out.
Oh, Bob, from what I hear, you two boys had a most wonderful vacation in St. Lucia.
Yeah, it was a great trip.
You know, I'd love to hear more about it. Why don't you stay and have dinner with us?
Oh, I don't think I can do that.
Oh, listen, come on. We'd love to have you. I'm making Tad's favorite pot roast.
Well, it sounds great, but I'm going to have to pass it up this time.
Oh.
My mother expects me home, and I got a ton of homework.
Oh, well, that I can understand.
Yeah.
Some other time, then.
Okay, great.
You know, we haven't seen nearly enough of you around here lately.
Well, Tad's had a pretty busy social life.
Yeah.
But thanks. I'll take you up on that invite another time.
See that you do.
Okay. I got to go.
Okay. Listen, Bobby.
Yeah.
Thanks for the book.
No problem. See you tomorrow.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Miss
Give my
Mark.
best to you, Pamela.
Okay.
Be good.
You know something? I have always liked Bob, Georgia. I'm very glad you kept up that friendship.
Yeah. Yeah, Bobby's a good man. So, are you going to go to the store?
Yes, I'm going to go to the store. Oh, Tad, would you like to call and invite Liza to come over and have dinner tonight?
Mom, what made you think of Liza?
Well, I mean, the two of you have been seeing a great deal of each other lately. I thought maybe you'd like to have her come over here.
Oh, well, Mom, I mean, that's kind of last minute, don't you think?
Well, I don't think she would mind. Why don't you give her a call and find out?
I'd rather not.
Are you and Liza having some sort of problem?
Well, let's just put it this way. Things are sort of up in the air between me and Liza right now.
Liza? Darling? Please stop staring like that and talk to me. Look, darling, if there's something wrong, please tell me about it, Liza. Liza?
Oh, no.
No, don't get me wrong. I think it's great that Vera wants to help, but she ain't exactly my picture of Mother of the Year, you know what I'm saying?
You don't think she can pull it off?
No.
Well, I think she can.
Andy, now you know I like Vera, right? But don't you think that's pushing it a little too far?
Well, it's the only thing I could think of. And you gotta admit, it's the best plan that we've come up with so far.
I don't know, baby. I don't know.
Look, if it doesn't work out, we won't be any worse off than we are right now. But if it does, we might be able to get our son back.
You know I would give anything for that to happen.
Jesse, it's gotta work. It just got to.
You sure managed to make a big mess out of everything, right?
I don't want to think about it.
Yeah, well, there's one thing we gotta think about. I mean, we've been putting all this energy in getting our son back. But we ain't said nothing about getting married again.
Jesse.
You want to, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah? So when we get our son back, that's the first thing on the agenda, huh?
Got that right. Thank you. Mr. Tate, I'm Juanita Reese. How do you do?
Oh, please, won't you sit down?
Thank you.
Well, what can I do for you, Mrs. Reese? It is, Mrs., isn't it?
Oh, yes. My husband and I have been happily married now for 4.5 years.
Oh, glad to hear it. What can I do for you?
Well, Mr. Tate, I know you're a busy man, so I'll get right to the point. Fred and I, that's my husband, Fred, well, we love children so much, except that we've been unable to have any.
I'm sorry.
And that's why I've come to you, because we want to adopt.
Well, why not go to an adoption agency?
Oh, Mr. Tate, a very close friend of mine was on a list with one of those adoption agencies for such a long time, and through her pain, I know what it's like.
Well, I won't deny you probably have a long wait.
Well, that's why I've come to you. Because just as my friend was about to give up all hope of ever being a mother, you told her about a baby that was coming up for adoption.
No, who's this friend we're talking about?
Mrs. Eugene Thompson. You do remember her, don't you?
Oh, of course I remember Mrs. Thompson. She was about to adopt a baby, and her sister and brother-in-law were killed in a car accident. Left 3 children orphaned. It was a terrible tragedy.
Oh, yes, it was terrible. But, Mr. Tate, is there any possibility that you could give us the baby that you were planning to give to Loretta?
Well, Mrs. Reese, I certainly sympathize with what you and your husband are going through, but I'm afraid other arrangements have been made for that baby.
I don't understand.
Well, another couple is going to adopt that child. As soon as certain expenses are covered and the final papers are signed, that child will be theirs.
Hi. You know, somehow I knew you couldn't stay mad at me for too long.
Are you alone?
Yeah.
Good.
You gonna tell me what's bothering you?
You bet I am.
I'm waiting.
You are the most disgusting excuse for a human being. How do you live with yourself?
Okay, Liza, if you're gonna start beating on me about that older woman stuff, you can just phone
No,
it in.
not an older woman. Not any older woman. My mother.
Wednesday.
There's no answer.
Well, if you're so determined to reach him, honey, I guess you better just hang out here and try to call him every 15 minutes.
I can't. I promised Mrs. Fenton I would go right back to New York to make this appointment this afternoon. This has been a total waste of time, this whole trip.
Well, honey, don't say that. You got to see your mama.
Come on, that's not what I'm talking about. You know that. I don't mean that.
Come on, sit here next to me. Jenny, we have got to talk seriously, honey. Now, has Greg said or done anything to make you think that he wants to get back together with you?
No.
No. So why do you want to leave yourself open to this hurt from him?
Because, Mama, he came up to New York a little while ago, and he told me that he hasn't blamed me. He never really blamed me for the accident. He lied to me because he just didn't want me to feel obligated to him.
Oh, I get it. And so because he said that, it makes you think that he's in love with you still?
I don't know what to think. I don't know, but I wrote him this letter and I told him how I feel about everything, and he still hasn't answered it.
Well, how long ago did you send it?
A couple weeks ago.
You're kidding. You wrote him a couple of weeks ago? You haven't had a phone call or a letter back?
Mm-mm. And that is not like Greg, Mama. You know Greg, and that is why I came down here to talk to him face to face.
But, sweetheart, don't you know what that means? Obviously, he feels it's over.
Then why won't he tell me that?
Why, he's probably so embarrassed, honey. You wrote him some sicky, sweet, sentimental letter. He's probably just, like, so mortified he doesn't return these feelings.
Mama, what am I supposed to do?
Honey Bunch, you have got to get over this. This is just a dream which will not be coming true. Now, you have got to try to forget about him.
I've tried, Mama. What am I supposed to do? Tried, Mama. And I can't forget about him. I don't know how to stop loving him.
Honey, please, you have so much love inside you. Don't throw it away on somebody that can't return your feelings. Please listen to me about this, Jenny. I know what I'm talking about.
I am so lonely up in New York, too, Mama. I hate it up there, really.
Honey.
I don't have any friends.
You do, sweetheart. You have the girls that you model with. You have Tony, you have Miss Fenton, you have Erica.
That is not the same as Pine Valley. I miss it here. I miss my friends. I miss Jessie and Angie. I miss you so much.
Oh, honey Bunch, I miss you too, sweetheart. But think of the exciting life that you're having. 1,000,000 girls would want to trade places with you.
I know, and I don't mean to sound ungrateful about all
Well, then
that.
don't. Just go right back and throw yourself into your work. success is the best revenge, honey. It's the best cure I know for a broken heart.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
And you know what else?
I'll try.
Someday we're going to be laughing about this. I'm going to call you up. You're going to be like in Hong Kong or somewhere famous like that. I'm going to call you up. I'm going to say, remember that boy, that jerk you were dating in high school, Greg, whatever his name was? And you're going to say, Mama, Greg who? Like, I don't remember a Greg.
I don't know what I would do without you.
I know it was foolish of me, Mr. Tate, but I just got my hopes up about this baby when Loretta told me about it.
Well, believe me, if there were anything I could do...
Mr. Tate, you said that the final papers were not signed yet, right?
Right.
Well, what if my husband and I could pay you more for him?
Well, Miss Reese, I'm not a flesh peddler. You make it sound as if I'd give the baby to the highest bidder.
Oh, no,
My only interest is to find a loving and good home for the baby. I mean, if we took your suggestion, what about the poor couple that's waiting to adopt the baby?
I know, it's just I'm so desperate. I want him so...
I'm sorry to interrupt, Mr. Tate, but it's Mrs. Jones again on line 2.
What does she want?
Oh, the same thing. When can she turn the baby over to her friend?
Excuse me, this will just take a minute. Well, tell her that I know she's anxious to get this matter settled, but according to our arrangement, she's to take care of the baby until the final papers are signed, till we get the full payment.
I'll tell her.
Sorry for the interruption.
It's all right. Mr. Tate, as a lawyer, you find out about other babies that come up for adoption, right?
Well, understand, I don't usually handle adoptions. This is an unusual case for me.
But when you do, what's your fee?
Well, it varies, sometimes up to $10,000.
Well, that's a lot of money. Of course, I would have to discuss it with my husband.
Well, bear in mind there's no baby currently available.
Mr. Tate, this is very important to me, and I don't give up easily. Now, I'll keep in touch with you. You've been very helpful. Thank you so much. Really, I can't thank you enough.
Have a good day, Ms. Reese.
Good day.
Door for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Why don't you lie down for a while, Ma?
Oh, come on now. I'm all right.
Look, after all the months you've been looking after me, don't I get a chance to do the same for you?
Darling, you're very sweet. You're very considerate. But you heard Joe. He says I'm all right. I'm fine.
They didn't find anything wrong, Mom. That's not exactly the same thing. I'm worried about you.
Well, don't be.
A little bit easier said than done. I guess I take after you a little bit, don't I?
But you see, mothers are entitled to worry about their sons.
Excuse me a minute.
Who are you calling?
Amanda, I'd like to cancel our date for tonight.
Now, look, you put that phone down right away. Put it down. I don't want you to break your date with Amanda.
It's really no big deal at all.
Yes, well, I'm sure Amanda doesn't feel that way, and I would feel awful if you were to break it on my account. Look, darling, I'm just going to retire early tonight, and so it just won't do you any good to stay home anyway.
Well, I don't want to force my company on you.
Oh, I'm afraid my company is no good to anybody tonight.
Well, if you're sure, I'll go upstairs and shower right now.
You do that. Go on.
Now, are you sure there's nothing I can get for you right now?
Oh, really, darling? Really? If I want anything later, I'll get it myself.
Okay.
Oh, goodness. Oh. I'll get that. Hello?
Mrs. Nelson?
Oh, Mrs. Svensson.
Yes. Is this a good time to talk, or is this not?
Yes, this is all right.
Did you see Jenny?
As you predicted, she was at my front door the minute we hung up.
I knew it. Now, were you able to keep her from seeing Greg?
Well, for a while. But I'm sure that she's still in Pine Valley, and she'll probably come back here, and he's in the house now.
It's all right now, Mrs. Nelson. Don't worry. You don't have to worry. I'm sure she's on her way back to New York by now. You see, she had an appointment, and I'm sure she wouldn't be late. She promised me she wouldn't.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. Well, if that's the case, then I guess we have weathered this crisis. I just hope there isn't another one just too soon.
Oh, let's hope so.
Liza, what are you talking about?
Talking about the affair that you're having with my mother?
Do you know what you're saying?
You see, all the pieces started to fit. All the times that you were at my house with my mother, getting better acquainted.
Oh,
When I thought that you were there for me. What a laugh you must have had.
Liza, come on, your mother doesn't even like me.
You know something? I think you're right. But that didn't stop her from getting into bed with you, did it?
Your imagination is
My
working
imagination
overtime.
is just fine, Dad. Did my imagination make my mother call you at the hearth? Oh, but that was because you were buying me a present, wasn't it? What present? And what about your mother at the yacht party saying how wonderful it was that you were being with a woman your own age for a change, huh? Well,
Liza,
no wonder.
Liza, you got it all wrong.
Oh, no. No, I don't think I do. How many other people know about your little affair, Tad, besides your mother and Bob Georgia? How many other people know what a disgusting little piece of trash you are?
No, wait a minute, man. This is ridiculous. You got no proof, so you just go ahead. You rant and rave all you like, Liza. Go on.
Oh, I have proof.
You don't.
Why don't you go upstairs and get your gold chain? You know, the expensive one with the big gold links.
What does that got to do with it?
Because you know where it is. It's at my house, where you left it after you made love to my mother.
No.
Shut up. I hate you both.
No, Liza, wait. Wait. Liza, no. Liza, come on, Liza, what are you gonna do?
You'll just have to wait and see, won't you? Oh, Tad.
All My Children will continue in a moment.
Oh, hi there.
Ethel said you wanted to see me?
Yes, I do.
But Mrs. Taylor's due any minute.
Well, okay, this won't take that long. Let's just sit down and have a little talk for a second here.
Oh, well, you look so serious. I hope you're not dissatisfied with my work.
Not at all. I think you do a great job here. I always have and I always will.
Thank you. That's nice to hear. It's not easy pleasing all those women.
Oh, don't I know it? Now, nobody here appreciates what you do more than I do. That's why I'd like to offer you a proposition.
What proposition?
Well, as you probably know, me and Ralph Purdy have quite a heavy involvement going on between us.
Yes, I do, and I'm very happy for you, Opal.
Thanks. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if he asked me to marry him, and if he does, you don't have to guess what my answer would be.
Oh, well, I hope you don't take offense, Opal, but I think anybody in town could guess your answer.
That's what I'm going to miss about you the most, your sense of humor, Jimbo.
You are?
Yeah.
Are you planning on retiring, Opal?
No, not exactly. Now, put yourself in Ralph's shoes. If you were him, president of Landview National Bank, would you want your old lady working in a beauty parlor?
Well, I hadn't thought about it, but I take it you don't think Ralph will.
Honey, I hope he don't. I hope he wants me going to beauty parlors, not working in them. That's why I got to sell the Glamorama. And I was thinking that maybe you should be the person to buy it.
Don't you think that's a little premature? Why, Mr. Purdy hasn't actually proposed yet.
No, but the smart money says that he will within a week. And when he does, I'm going to accept. So what do you say? You want to buy one or both of my Glamoramas from me?
I have absolutely no interest, Opal.
Oh.
It's not that I don't appreciate your offer. I do. I do, my dear. But look, I'll tell you the same thing that I told Mrs. Wallingford when she asked me to manage the shop. I am first and foremost an artiste. I am a hairstylist. I have absolutely no interest whatsoever in owning a business. Now, my only wish is to stay on here as a respected employee and help bring out the individual beauty of each customer who enters the shop.
What a great speech. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna have to try to find somebody else to buy the Glamoramus.
Man, she would have to have a name like Jones for her last name. There's 10 Joneses in this book
Yeah,
here.
but the thing is, I couldn't find out whether or not she lived in Center City, Landview, or Pine Valley.
Yeah, I guess we won't know until we start checking it out, though, right?
Wait a minute. Mr. Tate is not going to let the baby leave this area until the adoption is final. The woman must live around here.
Well, let's stop wasting time and start checking it out. Call these people, right?
Jesse, wait a minute.
What?
We can't do that.
Well, how else are we going to find a baby?
Look, if we call, we're just going to be alerting everyone that we're looking for. And if we find the right Mrs. Jones, it'll be so easy for her to lie over the phone.
She has a point. She does.
The woman might even tell Mr. Tate that someone's snooping around.
And you know what happened then? He would move it like that, honey.
Well, what are we supposed to do? Check out all these Joneses personally?
It's the only thing we can do. And I think once we get our foot in the door, it's going to be so easy to tell if there's a baby in the house.
Yeah.
How'd you get so smart? Huh? Come on, let's go.
Wait! I don't want to bring your head down, but how do you know that you will recognize your son when you see him?
Vera, I would know my son in a minute.
But it's been a couple of weeks, and babies change a lot, you know, when they're that little.
No, but he has a little small birthmark on his left arm, so I'll know for sure.
Okay. Do you want me to help?
No thanks, Vera. We appreciate everything you already did for us.
Yeah, Jesse and I can take it from here. Vera, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Hey, same goes for me, right?
Yeah. Well, look, I got to get back to work. You got to get going, but let me know what happens, okay?
Oh, yeah, you know that.
Yeah.
You know that.
Come on.
This is the nicest surprise I've had in days. Finding you here when I got home.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go back to the hospital?
Nope, not unless there's an emergency.
Oh, honey, that's wonderful. You got a nice fire going there, sir?
We don't get many chances like this, do we?
No, we don't. Did you have a rough day?
No, as a matter of fact, it was remarkably quiet, except for going over to Enid Nelson's.
Joe, you don't think she's back on tranquilizers, do you?
No, I don't think so. But I'm at a loss to understand what's bringing about this dizzy spell. Possibly it was caused by anxiety over something.
But honey, you'd think now that Greg is better, she'd be on top of the world.
Yes, you certainly would. I mean, she certainly ought to be proud of him. He's a fine young man. Well, I must say, I really have admired his strength and determination these past couple of months. Not to make comparisons, but I sure would like to see our Tad exhibit some of these qualities.
Now, listen, our Tad has good qualities of his own. Now, wait a minute, listen, underneath that macho exterior, there's a great deal of sensitivity, honey.
Sensitivity?
Yes.
I hadn't noticed.
Oh, Joe.
I mean, look at it. Upstairs, there's a mess. All over, there's a mess. I mean, he's 19 years old, and he still doesn't know enough to pick up after himself.
Well, I think maybe he's going through kind of a rough time right now. Even though I know that's no excuse.
Rough time over what?
Well, he and Liza are having problems. I wouldn't be at all surprised if he weren't over there right now trying to patch things up.
Well, there you have it. Young love never did run smooth.
No, it didn't.
So you see, it's something to be said for middle age, after all.
I do hope that you are not talking about us.
Well, I'm certainly not talking about you. You're never going to grow old. But truthfully, I must say, I don't think I've ever been happier. I mean, in a way, it's as though my life is just beginning.
And indeed it is, Mr. Chief of Staff.
I don't mean just the job, although I'm looking forward to the challenge. It's a feeling of contentment.
I know. I feel that, too.
And of sharing life with the woman I love.
You know, I don't tell you as often as I should. But I love you very much.
You're the
one that asked me to give you the train back in the first place.
Oh, that's right. Put all the blame on me. I should have known that you wouldn't be man enough to own up to your part.
No, wait a minute. Just because you're stupid enough to leave the chain around where your daughter can find it doesn't make me the guilty party here.
I don't know how I got involved in this mess. I mean, why couldn't you have been honest with me from the start, Tad?
Wait a minute. You made the pass at me.
Now, wait a minute. You made the first pass at me, and I never, ever would have got involved with you if I'd known you were involved with my own daughter.
How is that so? From what I understand, you took a few risks before I ever arrived on the scene.
Yeah, well, obviously those risks didn't teach me very much, did they? Not only have I done this to Larry, but I managed to hurt my own daughter as well.
Come on, Marion. Liza's a lot stronger than that.
Oh, yes, man, you think whatever you need to think to deal with your own silly guilt. She is my daughter, and I know her, and I am frightened at what she might do.
Do you really think that she'll tell your husband?
Oh, would you blame her? Oh, please, don't. You know, Larry he'll never forgive me if he finds out about this. And she may have even told him already.
There you go.
Thank you.
Hey, Rosie, Vera coming back?
Well, she said she'd call if she couldn't make it. I haven't heard anything.
Well, and she's coming back. She's pretty reliable. How about another shot, Ruby? Yeah, I'll be right with you. There we go. Okay. Okay, right there. What can I get you, sweetheart?
Something strong, please.
Got an ID?
Are you serious?
I gotta ask.
Oh, please.
Well, what'll it be?
Straight scotch. To start with.
Starting Monday and all through December, Daytime Dilemma returns. A daytime star may call you to predict an upcoming scene in this exciting one-minute game, following Loving, One Life to Live, and General Hospital. And earn a chance to win our grand prize trip for two to see an ABC soap opera.
Oh, that's fabulous. Well, tell me more.
Send your name, address, and phone number to Daytime Dilemma, Post Office Box 6, New York, 10046. Send in your postcards. We may be calling you to play Daytime Dilemma.
Welcome back. How are things in Pine Valley?
If you're thinking about giving me a hard time, don't.
What do you expect me to do, Jenny? I mean, did you really think I wouldn't find out that you lied to me?
Tony, I couldn't tell you.
Why? Because you couldn't trust me?
Because I didn't want to make you feel bad, okay?
Well, aren't you going to tell me what happened?
There's nothing to tell.
Well, did you see your old boyfriend?
No, I didn't see him, and I really don't want to talk about it right now, okay? Where's Olga?
She's upstairs. Well, what happens now? I mean, are you going to write him again? Are you going to try and call him, or what?
No, I'm not going to try to get a hold of him at all from here on out.
But I thought you said you couldn't go on without getting things resolved.
Yes, I know what I said, but I had a lot of time to think on the train. And I realized that things are definitely over between Greg and me.
Hey, Will!
Hey, Huey.
What do you have?
A nice cold beer.
Got it. Here you go. Where you been? Haven't seen you lately.
Toronto, Chicago, you name it. Candy around.
Nah, it's too early. Should be a little later, probably.
Getting pretty raw outside, wouldn't you say?
You talking to me?
No. I don't see anyone else around. What's the matter? Don't you talk to strangers?
My mother always told me never to talk to strangers.
Well, then let me introduce myself. My name's Will Schultes. What's yours?
Liza Colby.
Liza. You, come here often, Liza?
Not often. I used to know someone who worked here, but she moved up in the world here.
You, want another drink?
Sure, why not?
Huey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another drink for the lady.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Do you live in town?
No. I lay over in Center City when I got a long haul. I come to Foxy's regularly.
Yeah, there you go. You okay? You want another one?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
So you're a truck driver?
That's me. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. What about you?
Go to college?
Oh, I should have guessed. What's the matter, Liza? You, have a fight with your boyfriend?
No.
But you got one, I'll bet.
You'd lose the bet.
Oh, come on. Pretty girl like you put me on.
I don't believe in boyfriends, Will.
What do you believe in?
Not much.
You ever get lonely?
Not so far.
Well, I do. Liza, I got a bottle back in my motel room. What do you say you and I go back and, Come on, what do you say?
Thought you never asked.
Well, let's get rolling. Yes. Rolling. Oh, wait a minute, Liza. One question, Liza. You're over 18, aren't you?
Hey, you want to see my ID, Will?
No. It's just that I don't want to get in any trouble, you know.
Relax,
with your
Will.
parents.
Relax. This is your lucky night. My father doesn't know where I am. And my mother could care less.